Look, y'all. Okay, so we have another minute of ads, so they're gonna have to sit here for a sec. But welcome to another very fun match. I am very excited to watch both these players play today. The B1 matches, in addition to being the tier that I am in, are also just kind of really fun. So let me go ahead and unhide these. Ask the players if they are okay. They're ready. I'm gonna go ahead and start the initial countdown for them, and then we'll do 3, 2, 1, reveal. Okay, so the players are now looking at the board, and while we are waiting for the countdown to be able to have everyone else see, Magic Garden center square, I expect that to be a very quick blast from either player. Bug Hunter is on the board and also has a really big square, being one of the corner pieces. All of the generals have a little bit of synergy with the rest of the board. All of these goals honestly are pretty fast, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this one potentially either be a really quick bingo or players jumping around the board and it going to time. I'll have to change the middle header thing because Dom is the same red that I am, but let me do the 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1, go. Hi Vex, thanks. Alright, and our rank wastes absolutely no time going into Magic Garden as Dom is going for the Campanella Square. Beating the stage B boss is not like the significant time investment, but is something to be careful of. Also, our ranks capture is looking crispy, goddamn. I'm not used to seeing that like clean of capture.
Let me see here. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got it right. That's so I got. Oh, hold on. Sorry, just a moment.
Hello. How's it going? Do I have a friend co-casting tonight? Looks like a door's in here.
I'm still here. Sorry.
Okay.
Am I? Yeah. I. Sorry, I'm just getting a little confused on my end.
No worries.
Just take a moment, but I don't know why I'm only seeing. Oh, hold on.
So our rank is building up to an X8 here, which is pretty good. It's not super difficult to get up to an X8, but you do need to have a lot of potions on board to be able to do that. Quickest way to get more potions on the board quickly is to just start getting gold potions right away, because gold potions will also increase the amount of oppies that are available. So, looking like aranq definitely knows what to be doing here. Already has a couple of potions laid out and a couple of oppies on the way. This is also a good game to parlay into a gold disc, which is also on the card. The boards have seemed pretty kind today with these general goals for stuff that's on the card. And very excited to potentially see races for those. And I mentioned out the gate that I didn't think that the stage B boss was like the quickest goal on this card, but Dom is pretty quickly proving me wrong here, because already 2 minutes in and up to the stage B4. Definitely has some very clean Campanella 1 play here. This will also count for one of the games of 2 bosses in 4 games, which does have a little bit of synergy with the card, but you also kind of got to work at it a little bit. And there's the 8X and the center square. I'm assuming a rank is, I was going to say either just kind of trying to get the top 3 and quit out. Understandable to not want to necessarily parlay that into a gold disc. Yeah, we have the top 3. Player 1, General 1. Also, I like completely gave up on the colors apparently on ranks halfway through. Whoops. Let me fix that real quick while those players are giving me a sec. And this is most likely going to be a UFO rush. Kind of just looking like some, oh, it's the Star Wasper square, right. So this square is pretty difficult if you aren't super practiced in this, because it is very easy to like instinctually pick up some squares here. This square, for those that can't read it, says that you have to get, how many points? 1600? 1500? 1500 by the end of wave 1, without collecting any letter tiles, which means that you're, oh, there you go. You're kind of just stuck trying to not capture stuff, which ends up actually being pretty difficult, honestly. Dom is in fact ballin'. That's 2 bosses and a game. Ooh, did quit out before trying to get a top 3 though. I guess I don't super remember how far in a top 3 is for Camp 1, but yeah, I've mentioned this on a couple of other casts, but sometimes when you see a specific game on the board for a specific player, you're maybe a little cautious about jumping into said game because you're worried that that player might just snipe you. But sometimes that kind of also works in reverse, where like aranq knows that most people probably aren't going to be playing them in Bug Hunter. So maybe leaving the space on the board a little bit longer than necessary here. And Dom is in position. I believe already has one of the 2 4-cost modules. And there's the silverfish down, so another quick square. I just talked to this guy to confirm, but the silverfish are in fact dead. Oh, there's the bug hunter. Okay, so Dom does have to be careful here. Oh, here, let me yep, there you go. Okay. Could have been an aranq snipe, but he got in there just too late. And within the first 5 minutes of the game, we have 4 boards marked off. So aranq starting on the pilot quest progress, and meanwhile Dom is hopping into Fistel. This is another game that you can get 2 bosses and 4 games in pretty quickly, and also has synergy with Beat the Second Scare, which is a space on the board. So Dom definitely doing a good job of picking off that early synergy. What? Oh, the pilot quest blaster. Yeah, so basically anytime you see pilot quest on the board, it's generally good to just get that going early. We've had a couple of games this week where players maybe didn't get going on it quite as early as they needed to, and then it ended up coming down to it. And yeah, being able to immediately shut down both diagonals makes it a lot easier as a player to figure out where you need to go. This is most likely just for the UFO right now, given the fact that there you go. Okay, so we're gonna play it out from here. That's a good call. I'm sorry about the pin golf trigger for you toots, but it's a much easier goal than yours goal was, to be fair. Never sleep on Florida Man quest. Very true. Running around terrorizing an area he doesn't know to raid resources. So I've missed exactly how many pink or orange obstacles aranq's got in here, but I think he's up to 3. Oh, and Dom also got a UFO from Fistel. She's a 4. Okay, I'll count this as 6. So honestly, I'm trusting aranq to keep track here, but 6 sounds accurate. So. I wonder if because Pilot Quest has Zoldnax, if it's implied the alien species got more sophisticated because they... Yo, nice. But yeah, I could see that. Like, they just have a bunch of money lying around because they don't actually need money. Because they're willing to just work for the sound of a friend's whistle. Very nice T shot there. I was gonna say, probably worth it just to go back. It's pretty easy to get caught in this upper area up here, as it's unfortunately happening to aranq. Like, even with a pretty full power shot there, it's pretty easy to just get locked up there. Okay. Yeah, that is 10. Hopping back into Star Wasper to try this goal again. This goal is fast, but I have seen some players struggle with this. I think aranq had the right strategy by going for red ship and using the spread shot, because red spread is strong enough to be able to kill these flies pretty quickly. Spread. True. Yep, there's another letter. So that is kind of the hard part about this goal, is the letter hitboxes are kind of generously in your favor, I would say, which most of the time is like perfectly fine, but in this specific goal of you trying to go through like as quickly as possible and not grab stuff, it ends up being a little bit of an issue here. So I definitely don't blame aranq for playing this a little more cautiously, because it's pretty easy to unfortunately do that and grab a letter. Alright. Checking out the top 3, presumably, for camp. I'm not sure if this is one of the fastest top 3s, but since I already got Magic Garden progress, might as well grab another one. Did I put that on here? Yeah, I did. Okay. And meanwhile, Dom is patiently waiting for that guy to break through the wall. Was like one step behind where he needed to be there. Yeah, it is a 2-boss top 3, which is nice. Yeah, Dom's been doing a really good job of spotting that synergy and going into games, and still doing these goals quickly. Like, these are still pretty quick goals, so it's not like Dom's like choosing to take forever just for the sake of synergy. So that's another game with 2 bosses down. aranq will also have that whenever he's done with Campanella, but honestly might not even end up mattering based on how quickly Dom's going for these 2. Oh, not UFO. Pausing to mark off the Fistel square. And it is threatening that column 2 bingo, because he does actually have some pretty good progress on this goal already. I was going to say, if he gets Kick Club, is able to pivot that into the Star Wasper goal, and then is just able to get another boss after that, that is very quickly and efficiently spotted. So that's what I was mentioning at the header of this match, where like there are a couple of pretty quick bingo lines if players were to spot them. And very cool to see. Also, Dom knows about the corner, let's go. I just learned about this corner not very long ago, and it is wild how much time it saves in Kick Club. I was doing a practice run right before my match with Fi earlier, and I ended up getting a sub 14-minute one. So, if you bounce into the top right corner with the girl, or with the top left corner with the boy, it saves, like, no joke, probably like 4 or 5 seconds per level. So watch Dom in the middle of this, where the ball bounces once and then twice. If Dom is able to just stay in the top right corner, you only just basically bounce once and then immediately spawn, and it saves a ton of time. I like was just doing it for a practice run just to see, so you can kind of directly see here, it just immediately like spoots you out in the middle of the level. And you can do the same thing for after the wave bosses, or after the world bosses, if you're in the middle of the stage, because the ball bounces to the middle of the stage and then shows the name of the next world and then bounces to the right. And given how many levels are in this game, it actually saves like an impressive amount of time, honestly. Especially since the first couple levels are very quick, and sometimes you're spending more time loading into the next level than you are like actually playing the next level. That was a weird kill and then death in Kit Club, but okay. So yeah, once Dom is able to get to the end of World 2, this will be another game with 2 bosses and 4 games. Could also potentially stay in for the top 3. I think top 3 is not like super free in this game, but given the fact that Dom's got to go to nice wall shot there. Given the fact that Dom's got to go all the way to the end of World 2 here, it is worth it. But yeah, it looks like aranq is going to go ahead and lock this in, because this is just another top 3. So I'll go ahead and just put that in now. So Dom did spot the synergy here, but I think it was just a little bit too late, because aranq already had that square on lock. So in typical B1 tier fashion, we got 7 spaces marked off the board in 15 minutes. B1 has been popping off this season, so I expected this pace to be about this aggressive, and both players are definitely doing really well here. And if there's one game I would want to play aranq in less than Bug Hunter, it's probably a Tactics. But does see that Devilition square. Okay, potentially hot take here. I think that fast Devilition is one of the coolest things in UFO 50. Like, regular Devilition is already like really fun to commentate and watch, but watching someone who's like really good at Devilition just like spam out pieces and be like done with waves in like a second or two. Yeah, that was a 10-second round 1. And like having to very slightly think here. One thing that is really cool about Devilition and top level play that you kind of have to do for the cherry and stuff is you'll see players start to basically build a line, but then have to like chunk it off and work somewhere else and just come back and work on it later. How come aranq is so good at this grid-based puzzle? Exactly. Who would have ever thought? So I think this is the earliest that you can clear the screen of demons and have 18 remaining. So we might see if aranq is gonna just try to go for that. A very efficient X into frog. Still doesn't have a way to hit that frog yet, but is getting close. Yeah, I don't think there's a way to clear on this one, so maybe just setting up for... This game does have very good thinking music. And thinking music for a puzzle game this intense is definitely really important, so... This game would be very grindy if it had like painful music to listen to while you were sitting there trying to plan out like 20 moves in advance. But it's like, I don't know. It's hard to describe what good thinking music is, but it has like just enough energy that it's interesting, but like not too much that it's like frazzling your brain about it. So if aranq is able to get this Devilition square, which looks like it's probably not... it might happen. this round. If aranq is able to get this, this does threaten the middle column bingo, which is like really, really fast, and one of the ones that I was thinking of early in the game. Okay, so not gonna try to reach that guy in the corner. Oh wait, no, he does reach the guy in the corner with the cannon. Nice. Okay. So 4 rounds in. That was like, what, 5 minutes? Proof that Devilition is not that bad if you're a god at puzzle games. Alright, meanwhile Dom does beat World 2 and is going to defeat 2 bosses and another game, so is still working on that square pretty well. And went back into Kit Club. Interesting. 2 bosses is General 2. Looking for a dessert they missed. Oh, right. Well, I mean, at least they missed the one pretty much right away. Yeah, it was, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even see that Kit Club goal, so I'm glad that he was keeping track of it. It seemed like casually watching along and not seeing that goal in the square that he got it anyway, but... Okay, so it looks like aranq might also be pushing for defeat 2 bosses in 4 games. One of the hard things about playing UFO 50 Bingo, and I'm sure all of the players in here can attest this, is deciding in the middle of a game if you've made enough progress that it's actually worth going for the general goals. And aranq does have at least 1 game of 2 bosses. Actually, yeah, he does. So going into... Did he get the 2 bosses in Camp 1? I thought he died in World 2. Okay, so maybe... Yep. Okay, just pivot into Gulf area. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I think they did die in World 2, so... Oh, Easter egg UFO. I was like, why... why are we in Gulf area? I do like this game, but... I feel like Gulf area is one of those games that I didn't particularly love casually, but playing it for bingo has made me appreciate it more just because of how centralized most of the goals are. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just need to golf. I get it. I too prefer to just boot up Waldorf or pin golf, even if they're their own card. Is aranq taking some, like, whack way to the UFO that I don't know about? Because normally I just see these players blast for it, but maybe aranq has, like, a safety strat here. Alright, well, aranq trying to prove that he can, in fact, be ballin' by launching this golf ball as far as possible. And meanwhile, we have a little bit of Mortal 2 play. Going to activate all the switches. That's a pretty fast one. Yeah, it's given that he's scouring the map. He is going the right way. It's in the desert, for those that don't know. So that checkpoint actually probably ending up paying off for him long term. Although that bug just bonked like all of his progress back. This game has too many directions. Yeah, I will say that I think getting to this UFO is actually probably easier from the starting position than the one that aranq's in right now. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't even know how to get to the UFO from here in 20 strokes, but if you're doing it from like the very start of the game, it's pretty straight shot there. Oh, that is a rough spot for that guy to be. I think probably going to have to put a portal near there. Oh, or just do that. Okay. that works too. Good job, Dom. I thought for sure that the rhino guy was going to be in the way. I missed the fence jump, unfortunately. I was watching Mortal 2. Alright, there's switch number 2. Gonna go ahead and mark that off. Oh, that was switch number 3, I guess. Okay. I missed him going down to the bottom part before I saw that, so good job. Threatening the column to Bingo now with a little bit of an extended play in Star Wasper here. We did point this out earlier, but if he's able to grab Wave 1 with 1,500 points and then just beat Wave 2, that will immediately be those 2 back-to-back spaces and either force aranq into a Rakshasa Gold Disc or allow Dom to go for that on his own. And yeah, that will count for his final 2 bosses. So very, very well spotted and executed here by Dom. And meanwhile, aranq is still trying to get back over to that Easter egg UFO. It's on the far right side of the map, like kind of in the middle bottom part. And yeah, it's nice to see a yellow ship here, honestly. You don't really... I feel like I've been seeing yellow ship more and more in Bingo. I personally don't love yellow ship just because it's a little weak with its spread shot there. Like you can see that the spread doesn't kill quite as efficiently as red ship. But you also don't have to be like quite as accurate. And I forget how many points you need by the boss to be able to get this. I think this is short though. Yeah. So, gonna try to grab this double synergy, which I think is a good call. I don't think it makes sense to just grab the bosses and then sort of telegraph that a little bit more. I think it makes more sense to... so it specifically says in the parentheses before bonus points. So I think you have to have 900 going into those guys at the end and then kill both. Yeah, I just checked the board too to confirm, but... And here, Dom doing a really good job of showing off the strength power difference between yellow ship and red ship. You'll see a lot very nice squeeze there too. And now it does look like aranq is in the right part of the map, but just needs to make sure that he has enough strokes to actually see this UFO. Which I think he does, but is going to be cutting it pretty close. Okay, there you go. So I suspect that that will probably be the longest UFO. But we are getting a head-to-head Star Wasper here. I think aranq does see how threatening this space is, and has attempted it a couple of times and just kind of hasn't had the luck, but proving to be a very important block and also theoretically an important grab for aranq as well. Looks like Dom's going to be 100 points short here. Yeah, very unfortunate. It was really close on that one. You do have to almost kill like every guy in this. And I think Dom realizing that the damage output by red ship, even if you have to be a little more precise, is definitely worth it. Yeah, I was practicing some Star Wasper goals last night. I was specifically practicing the one where you have to get 3 UFOs on screen at once. But this goal I've seen a couple of players struggle with, and definitely doesn't seem easy. Like obviously killing the guys isn't like super difficult. It's more killing the guys in a way where you don't grab letters. But yeah, I'm personally stoked to see a Star Wasper head-to-head race. This is one of the games in UFO 50 that I have spent a ridiculous amount of time in, only partially by choice. But definitely is exciting to see 2 high-level play of this. And this goal was not easy. Like, I know it may be like classified as an easier goal. Oh, it looks like aranq has just enough points for this. Wow. Very, very close snipe there. aranq did get that, marks it off. And that eliminates the threat of any bingo that Dom's been working towards, and does actually understandably position aranq to really, really want this towards a Disconia space. Because then it immediately threatens the column 1 bingo, in which he does have pilot quest progress, and the middle column, or the middle row bingo, which I don't think these players necessarily... Wait, was that it? Wow. That was so unbelievably fast, I wasn't even done talking about that. What? I like had to double check my feed back there just to make sure. That has to be the fastest that goal's ever been marked. Was just about to go on some huge rant about how this goal could theoretically take aranq a really long time, and that is obscene luck. Yeah, I may also be underestimating the dragon there, because that was fucking ridiculous. And now we are seeing head-to-head Vanger. I'm gonna be honest, I don't super know how comfortable either player is in Vanger, but understandably Dom doesn't have pilot quest progress right now, so it's just gonna come down to the multi-mod. Dragon shot does 3 damage, and there were 2 slimes right next to each other. Yeah, I don't see a way that ever gets beat. That was that was so fast. And once again, in typical B1 tier fashion, we have 13 spaces marked off in a half hour. Yeah, I was like about to go on some huge rant about how Lords of Disconia is like theoretically a really fast game, but you always kind of get screwed over a little bit. And I guess that's just what happens if you are good at it and also don't get screwed over by it. Because I've seen players struggle in that goal for like upwards of 10 minutes trying to like weaken like enemy discs and put them in a position. And it's definitely been a little bit of a hard time for some players, but not aranq. And also generally, hi to everyone who has come in during this race. Sorry I've not had time to individually say hi, but hope y'all are doing well. This has been an unbelievably exciting day of bingo from start to finish, and very glad that I got to be a part of the cast for this. And also, while I'm talking about that, shoutouts to everyone who volunteered to learn how to cast this week, because we definitely needed the help, and it was nice to be able to watch these matches and then also get to cast. Red Robot playing defense on this, yeah. No, I just pictured the Red Robot yelling Vanger. Alright, so both players are pretty neck and neck here. Both have the heat mod and are working their way back. Dom being like very slightly more efficient with routing so far. Gonna be honest, I'm pretty excited to see a good head-to-head of this, because Vanger is not one of the games that I'm great at in bingo. So it is nice to watch 2 players that know what they're doing get this goal quickly. I say that and then Dom enters and re-enters the same room like 3 times. Yeah, this is also a good game for bosses. Alright, they are now as neck and neck as they could possibly be. Holy shit, they entered the same screen at the same time. I assure you this is not the same feed being played twice. It just sure looks like it. Wow. If that's not an indication of how close this game has been, I don't really know what is. I had a feeling, looking at the schedule for this week, that this was going to be a really heat game, and I'm very glad that it definitely has been. The safety heal might cost it, but it is kind of looking... Oh, nope, they're pretty much neck and neck again. Dom is still ahead here, but not by much. There, never mind, it's just frames apart again. Just gonna stop saying anyone's ahead because nobody is ahead. Dom is gonna have to be careful here, only has 5 HP. Coming up on a save though, I'm pretty sure. Just has to not... Meanwhile, aranq is at 40 HP. Red Robot, no! That's okay. That wasn't really that timely of a death, but it does put aranq in the lead because of how neck and neck this is. And aranq will be able to pretty comfortably grab this safety save up here. And Dom damage boosting through those guys. Taking time, understandably, to kill that guy and grabbing the save as well. Really, the difference in this right now is Red Robot's defense. And I think this is the first boss for both players in this game. I don't think they actually grabbed the crawler that was nearby. Crawler giving a little bit of a harder time to Dom here, honestly. It kind of just keeps flipping back and forth, but still both players are neck and neck. Dom did get the boss a little bit faster, but wow, I cannot believe how close this Vanger race is. Like, this is hard to portray, honestly, how like evenly matched these players are right here. And this is a pretty massive knowledge check of a space. Oh, but Dom grabs the shortcut, the unmarked shortcut, and that's gonna be a like significant time space. Like that shortcut, I believe, saves at least a couple of rooms if I'm correct. And that single-handedly might be the difference here, because that race up until then was like frames apart. Yep, here it is. What a play from Dom. Holy shit. That was unbelievably close. And you can see the entire difference came down to that save. So Dom is going to still go into Star Wasper for 2 bosses. I think at this point it maybe is probably worth it for Dom to just grab another Vanger boss, but maybe doesn't know from there where it's at. Yeah, it doesn't look like aranq's seen it quite yet. Maybe he's going to see it between attempts here. But this little bit of a time gap here is going to be pretty important for Dom to grab another space potentially. And you can see here just how close that Vanger race actually was, because now aranq is at the same spot that Dom took the shortcut to, and really just came down to that shortcut taking, because that otherwise was one of the most neck and neck head-to-heads that I think you can possibly have in Bingo. Yep, and aranq sees it just before getting to the multi-missile. It is looking like Dom is a yellow ship main here. And one of the benefits of not having to go for that specific Star Wasper goal is that Dom can now just play Star Wasper. And when you're not trying to dodge and not collect any of these letter tokens, it's very easy to kind of just be in the flow. Also, aranq succumbing to Zoldath, that do happen. I will say that this does seem like one of the quickest spaces on the board to have 2 resources at the same time. Really outside of the rare resource, like there's not really too much to worry about, like as long as you know how to collect all of the other ones. The rare resource getting 2 of is pretty difficult, but still manageable. Hi Liz, how's it going? Yeah, perhaps unsurprisingly, B1 is putting on another show. And Dom showing off the power of Yellow Ship here. One of like the main critiques with Yellow Ship is that its firepower just kind of is lacking compared to Gray Ship and Red Ship. But that is not the case if you have the EEE power up, because it just like doubles the power of your shots. I'm not sure if it's actually doubles, but it definitely feels like double. And you can see here, just plowing through these guys, and then also has a wider range of attack, and then also just does more damage. So really showing the power of Yellow Ship here. You can see just the power difference between when Dom has EEE and when he doesn't. So also important to just keep up the drones off to the side. And there's going to be 2 bosses in 4 games. Which I apparently haven't been tracking in a while. And Canvas called it, going into Open Tomb. And gonna honestly prove to be a pretty quick block here. I am glad to see that Dom knows that he can just go straight to the World 2 levels with Open Tomb. You don't have to play World 1 first. And aranq is looking to be okay, at least for most of the resources. Oh, sorry, aranq. I was about to just say didn't have a weapon to defend himself, because you don't really want the pulse generator as your main weapon when you're trying to collect resources. Seeing a couple nice parachute jumps out of Dom here. I'm personally of the opinion that Mortal 1 is actually a fantastic bingo game, so I'm glad that I get to cast it a little bit. I specifically learned to this game. Very, very nice. That was so clean. I don't blame him for popping off with those pauses there. That specific shot is really hard. And I guess for those that don't know, yes, you are able to combine rituals together. And when you combine rituals together, you just get the benefits of all of them. And that allows you to do some pretty cool shit in this game. One of the fun parts of learning this route is to just decide like what things you're actually going to be adding in. And I was going to say, probably worth it to just blow that up. Meanwhile, we are seeing some ants. We're going to beat First Blood without shooting. That is a really quick square, because all you have to do is beat the first level. Oh, just kidding. We're getting a head-to-head Mortal 1 race. How exciting. As I mentioned, I learned this run specifically for bingo because there's a lot of goals. Aranq is pretty much about a level behind, but this could be the time investment that Dom needs for the comeback. Dom is looking pretty comfortable in Mortal 1, and you're able to just grab, just barely missed the explosion on that, but pretty easy to grab on the second one. And just swim under. So, worth mentioning for those that don't know, neither player knows where the other is at right now. Both players are muted and deafened in Discord. No 10 lives, because it doesn't need it. Just going to reset to 20. And honestly, a good call, because you don't really need more than that. One of the benefits of Open Tombs specifically, also very nice ledge jump there while on fire. In this level, if you are on fire, you are indestructible, but also die. But you can put yourself out by jumping into water. And there's a couple of spots in this level where you are able to basically chain being on fire together. Unfortunately, Dom does need the parachute jump here to just do the arrow. You can arrow into that while on fire in that first round and just save a guy, but it doesn't really save that much time, honestly. Also, for what it's worth, aranq is also having some very clean mortal play here. Just unfortunately is about a half level behind, and I think that half level is going to end up kind of costed. So yeah, understandably just taking a sec to let those guys clear out with the fire, and let's jump up. Does World 2 have 2 levels or 3? I forget. It has 3, right? Because it has the little Timmy section. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I have to kind of call it that because shout out to Cherry Rush, but also I've played enough Mario Maker stuff that it definitely feels accurate. To be fair, I think it was pretty obvious that you were joking about it, so I think it's fine. But that little sad, hey, I made that one while you were on call with him was really funny. So you do get to keep your life bonuses in this, so aranq does have 24 lives going into this. But as you can see, pretty much a full level ahead now. Oh, it was in chat, right? I definitely remember that, hey, I made that one as it happened, but it definitely, it didn't feel like a diss or anything, like it just kind of felt like an off-the-cuff comment. So now I'm going to use the fire to detonate those, and it doesn't need the life grind. Typically I try to end all of my fire shots by arrowing into one of these generators because you get your life back. But in open tomb that doesn't matter, so it's probably faster to just blow it up anyway. So we have seen some incredibly clean parachute jumping this game. From both sides, honestly, so I'm glad to see that people are practicing their Mortal 1. Dom looking very comfortable in this section, though. That death specifically also always happens a lot. Doing a good job of clearing that out, allowing all these to blow up, and just taking the nice, safe parachute jump down. Yep, also a really, really pretty combo by aranq. And for what it's worth, I think if these players had started at the same time, this race would have been just as neck and neck as the Vanger race, I think. I think really the only thing this is coming down to is the fact that Vanger specifically kind of kept aranq held up for a minute. That was maybe the cleanest I've ever seen anyone navigate the end of that level. Yeah. And there is that space marked off, and I believe that officially marks off all of the bingos in this game. So now it's coming down to majority. And players are just grabbing whatever spaces they can at this point. So we do see aranq go back into combatants for this combatants goal. And I think this is the first time Dom's dusted off Zoldath. Oh, true. Dom does have column 4. Yeah, I think doesn't super, like, obviously Dom doesn't know, but I think aranq can see that that is the last available bingo. Yeah, unfortunately, the ants can trade 2 for 1, so gotta be a little careful there. So, as I mentioned early in the game, this game was either going to be a really quick bingo for one of the players, or it's going to majority. And definitely looking like it's just going to go to majority, unless Dom has like the best Zoldath of his life here. It does already have 2 resources and stuff, but yeah, so the tricky part about this goal specifically is you have to be pretty good about farming the rare resource, because if you don't know your rare resource grinds, this can be pretty difficult. There are a couple of different ways to get rare resource, which looks like the cabbages in this one. I think the easiest one, personally, is having meat drop on an acid pit and then killing the bug that comes from it. Sometimes you can get really lucky and just have it on the map, then just need an item to get to it. But nope, there you go. Okay. So, that's showing off the speed of that space when you are actually able to grab stuff. I think, unfortunately, going into Mooncat here is potentially gonna... Well, I mean, I guess we don't really know. I am a fan of the Mooncat gaming, though. And it looks like Dom's capture has slightly frozen. There we go. Okay. And yeah, with that, Dom does jump into the 9-8 lead for the first time. Also, the fact that it is 9 to 8 with 48 minutes left is wild. I feel like B1 is just blasting out squares, especially this week, but kind of just in general. What is this ant doing just standing up here? Yeah, I don't... Not really sure what that guy was doing. It might have been beneficial for aranq to try to call that guy as, like, fodder there. But kind of rude to just watch your friend die and just stand there holding something 1 inch away from the queen. Oh, to keep his respawns alive? Yeah, maybe. I guess that makes sense, but... So, aranq definitely has the right idea of trying to basically keep the red ants occupied while building up some kind of army and just throwing bodies at it. Unfortunately, every ant is going to be a 2-for-1 trade, so... Yeah, it seems like a pretty sound strategy here. I think this goal maybe does depend on that first ant getting stuck behind the wall for a sec. But aranq doing a good job of just luring stuff over. Yeah, I think you kind of have to keep the aggro going here and just keep these guys locked. Ooh, this is going to be a tight angle. I think he's got it, but that was... Oh no, what? That was rude. So it's looking like Dom is going to be going green egg here, because this is currently the red egg route, but the red egg route is also the green egg route. So I'm assuming just going for the green egg. Yeah, it should have probably been a little bit more of a diagonal before going over, but to be fair, I would have also thought I was safe from those ants at that point. Like, it's always really hard to know exactly when you're clear of the ants and when you're not. Yeah, Ghost Boss is terrifying, and honestly, green egg route is at least, like, a pretty safe route. Like, it's, like, you just keep going straight forward. I'm a little confused why I didn't try to grab that again. No, I think it... Oh! Very, very fortunate that that didn't end up killing. I was going to say maybe we should have brought that, well, cantaloupe back first, but... Yeah, it definitely seems like the second you're at an ant disadvantage, you're kind of screwed there. So aranq is going to be able to mark this space off, tie it up 9 to 9, and we are quickly running out of quick spaces. Aranq is the only one still with pilot quest progress, so I guess I wouldn't be surprised to see dipping back into that and just checking on it. But doesn't even have time, just going straight into Overbold. This is probably the last, like, really quick space on the board. I like this Overbold too. I think this is a good play, because he doesn't exactly know what Dom's working on, but if Dom is in really any other space, which he is, this is the quickest space to get ahead on the tie margin, and then the last, like, hour or so of this game is just going to be whatever hard goals players are comfortable with. Also, some very nice Mooncat movement from Dom, by the way. Haven't really super been commenting on the Mooncat run, but this looks like it's going pretty smoothly. I always like to see high-level Mooncat. And confirming that he is going for the green egg there. Move cat movement, exactly. So, worth clarifying, in Overbold, you're allowed to shoot in any stakes except for the one that you're trying to clear the goal in. So Dom, or aranq, is going to use this time to build up lure bombs and build up a couple of probably stockpile of bombs here. Probably still a little early to go for the 800, so just going to get 500 and go from there. I'm curious to see what your answer is for this winner. So for those that don't know, lure bombs in Overbold are really, really, really good. And I did not know how good they were until, like, last week. A Croon cat. I was also thinking it could have theoretically been Fly Me to the Moon cat, since you were specifically talking about Frank Sinatra, but that works too. So this is a 700 stake and just building up a little bit more, understandable. This will theoretically parlay into a pretty nice quick gold disc, which neither player actually has a ton of progress on. Overbold is one of the quicker gold discs on this card. We also have Mortal 2, we got Mooncat, which both players could work towards, and Dom is actually going to get a gold disc after completing this route. There's Pin Golf, and there is the double synergy of Rakshasa being your last gold disc and getting 2 spaces out of it. Also Alphazar's Hat, since you gotta get all the way to stage 4 anyway. True. So wouldn't surprise me if players basically got 3 of the really quick ones that are on the card and then did a little bit of an extended play of either Alphazar's Hat or Rakshasa to grab the double synergy there. Yeah, neither player has a gold yet, so if that gold space is getting marked off, it's going to have to be with some of these like cross synergies that are on the board. And unfortunately does take a death and Overbold. Yeah, that's tough. Whenever you get the toucans everywhere, there's not too much you can do about it. You just got to be patient, but it's a lot easier to say to be patient in Overbold than it is to like actually be patient in Overbold, as someone who's gotten stuck in the Overbold loop a lot. Yeah, aranq does have Pilot Quest cooking, but hasn't been back in, I think, not even to open the meat shop, so I did expect to potentially see just opening up the meat shop and then dipping out, but I mean, theoretically, Dom is just as far along in Pilot Quest if he gets a little lucky with an ingot drop. And honestly, even if he doesn't, he's not, like, super far behind at this point. Yeah, I have also seen people do this goal with dashing, but I'm gonna be honest, dashing scares the crap out of me in this game. Like, I have seen the power of dashing because I've like watched the speedrun and see how quick you can kill stuff, but oh, does dashing shoot? Okay, I didn't know that. Like, I guess that makes sense because you have to tap the shoot button to be able to dash, but so maybe okay, I think I was confusing that with the one where you're not allowed to use bombs. And you are allowed to use dashing in that one because you're not laying a bomb when you're dashing, but alright, and Dom is up to high step guy. I always appreciate how high the steps take of guys in this game. Oh, sorry about the ads, y'all. Not much I can do about it, unfortunately, but I will, move so I can actually read this, but I will try to, in chat, mention anything that happens during the ad break here. Looking like Dom is getting a little bit caught in the loop of this boss. This boss does sometimes have a tendency to kill you a lot on like the final hit or the second to last hit. So like these early hits are generally like okay for this boss, but once you get up to like hit 5 or 6, you do have to be kind of careful about this jump taking up like half of the stage here. So aranq is maxed out on bombs, gonna do one more safety round just to be safe. And yeah, Dom got it. Cool. And immediately opening Pilot Quest. So even though aranq opened this like super early and does have at least like a couple of seeds, honestly Dom is not too far behind on this. I think this is a good time for Dom to go into this and start the progress on this. gonna need to pick up 3 more spaces on this board for a majority win at this point anyway, or 2 quick ones. So very curious to see what the players go into. Yeah, an ingot would be like game changing here. I think it's what, 1 in like 300. And yeah, aranq is on the wave 800 here. So just needs to be careful about the toucans, because these toucans are being mean. Oh yeah, he's shooting now, so maybe just gonna go for the gold disc, which also, honestly, fair. Might as well try this goal up until the point where you're like about to die, and then just go for it. We do have head-to-head overbold, so just gonna spend the money, gonna grab the stuff. I assume gonna try to do this goal. I don't know how easy this is to do on the final wave. I've never seen anyone try to do the last round without shooting, but yeah, I was gonna say maybe just giving up on that pretty... This might be a Noslo goal. Yeah, this feels like a Noslo goal if people were actually gonna try to go for that. Yeah, and worth reiterating, these matches go an hour 45, and we're already almost at the point where any space left is going to take like 20-30 minutes. Oh, the boss has explosion resistance? Honestly, that makes sense, because I feel like those bombs do like absolutely nothing on the boss. But we are, speaking of, about to see this final boss over on aranq side. Just closing up some lava real quick. Shoutouts to the lava patch thing, because that makes some of these navigations like much easier. Huh. Yeah, I mean, sometimes Twitch just decides to not show ads. Sometimes they're really mean and show like tons of ads. But I've decided to just err on the side of playing it safe and just let y'all know, like, if anything major happens in the middle of an ad break. And thankfully it's, even at its longest, only 3 minutes, but yeah, it's a good time for ads to glitch out, honestly. So aranq is out of bombs here, but is able to take down this boss and grab the first gold in the match. Very nice. I think dropping the oops because he realized that he needed to not shoot, but you got a gold, and that's kind of honestly all that mattered on that run specifically. And yeah, Vex, this is probably one of the closest matches I've had the pleasure of commentating, to be honest. And that's saying a lot, because there have been a lot of very close matches just this week alone. That's true. This does give Dom the opportunity for a snipe, and it does look like Dom's just going for it here. So if Dom is able to clear this wave without shooting, just got to be a little smart about when he's placing down those bombs and trying to lure in guys. Oh, nope, just going to go to shoot. Okay. So I think this is a fair bail out of the goal for both of what these players have been doing, where like they're attempting the wave without shooting, and then if they're just like, yeah, this isn't working, just going through the wave. But I think Overbold baring its teeth once again. This is a terrifying bingo game, and anyone who's been stuck in Overbold for any amount of time can confirm that. It does seem like double medkits and getting health back every 15 seconds is the way to go for this. Perhaps like even more so than the raw health upgrades. Unfortunately, a price hike on the bombs in this round is pretty unfortunate. Interesting. I don't normally see players buy the remote detonation. As a former Bomberman speedrunner, I understand the power of remote detonation, but honestly, for this goal, I kind of see the vision, though. Because if you're able to hold it until there's actually like a ton of enemies around, yeah, I was going to say, I'd absolutely see the vision for that with this. That's a really good pickup here, I think. And like, even if Dom doesn't get this, I'm absolutely stealing that for my strategy of this goal, because I have never purchased that item before, but in this specific goal, this actually is pretty heat. Lure wears off after a tiny while. Yeah, but I think just being able to kind of, for instance, like, try to bait those guys a little bit closer can allow you to kind of combo it in a bit. His bombs are getting poly kills. True. Alright, Dom's going for it. Maxing out bombs. Maybe even trying to, I was going to say, get the extra shrapnel too. Gonna get the shrapnel too if you want, but maybe probably better to get one of the protective upgrades. Yeah. Can afford a lava pit. Okay, Dom's going for it. The humble Donkus bomb. So yeah, right here I totally see the vision of lure bombs, because those bombs would not have lasted that long. They're synced again? Friendly reminder, these players do not know what the others are doing, and this is like maybe the third race that we've had where they're both playing just as fast as each other. Yeah, this match is ridiculous. And Dom showing off, I think perhaps single-handedly, why you should grab the lure remote detonation for this. Aranq has no health upgrades, but clears it first. Holy shit. Oh, if I'm Dom, I am... That is the fastest keyboard match I've ever seen. That was so close. I do like Fedkaba as the keyboard match there. Dom understandably staying in for the gold there. I was going to say, this is a good finishing the gold potential run, and does have a pretty strong build. Has obviously invested pretty well this round, and assuming this wave is able to clear, should have plenty of upgrades heading into the final round. I personally like a mix of bomb builds and gun builds just because of how resistant to bombs the final boss is. So it wouldn't surprise me if Dom is able to just upgrade gun a bunch here, maybe health. Yeah, so keeping track at home, we've had almost like a frame by frame difference race in Vanger for a really important space. We had pretty much a frame by frame Overbold race, and a couple of other like less direct snipes like that, but the fact that we've had two direct head-to-heads like that. It was twice that aranq spent time in a goal, left and come back for a head-to-head. Oh yes, and also Star Wasper. I knew there was another one that was like neck and neck that players have been battling. What a treat to cast this one. This match has been so much fun, and both players are really playing very well. Reiterating that this much of the board, 20 spaces being filled in an hour, is obscene pace. And true, aranq did get sniped on Bug Hunter. There's just been so much to cover in this match that I'm gonna need y'all's help when we're trying to record things. Meanwhile, Dom has 4 health upgrades on screen right now, and can basically just upgrade health wherever he wants to. Still able to use the lure part of the lure bomb to bait over those whales. I do gotta say, I am seeing the vision of lure and remote in this. Because part of the problem I have with bombs is that you kind of just hold them for forever, or that you try to space them out, and even with lure bombs you maybe just deactivate them a little too fast. And that will be a gold for Dom. He's up to 2 now, because he got Mooncat also. I was gonna say, it wouldn't surprise me to see Dom go into another quick gold, and then potentially even Alphazar's hat. Gotta check it on the news real quick. But Mortal 2 is a quick gold. Pin Golf's also a quick gold, so it also wouldn't really surprise me to just bust out Mortal 2 and Pin Golf real quick. And meanwhile, aranq is in Rakshasa for the Rakshasa gold disc and synergy with that. I do think that this is a good double synergy that's pretty rare this late into the game. Maybe would have tried to make this my final gold disc personally if I was going for that. But if aranq is able to do this, yeah, he's got pretty much pick of the litter of fast golds for this. I was gonna say, yeah, and Magic Garden also. So basically whatever golds he ends up wanting to go for here are fine. Although I will say, if aranq is able to do this, having his first 2 golds of this match specifically, being overbold in Rakshasa would be like such a flex. Might as well go for Star Wasper too, true. Dom would go to Bug Hunter for extra style. That's also fair. Just last week, aranq did grab the Bug Hunter cherry as one of his cherries in a match, so that's really not that far-fetched. And as someone who does not oh wow, that was scary. Someone who does not super know Rakshasa or Bug Hunter that well, being able to bust that out on command is wild. And looking like Dom is in position. That was a weird, like, half in that tile portal. Weird. Just gonna play it safe. Grab the square there, and then just scout up and bomb. aranq playing a little passively. Yeah, I think it's fair to say that while aranq is pretty clearly good at Rakshasa, like, not like an immediate comfort game. But also, I definitely don't blame him for playing a little defensively in this area specifically, because there's kind of a lot of crap on screen here. And is going to come up on an opportunity for a bell, which might end up helping here. Oh, but those bats specifically fly at such a weird height. I like the recovery strat of just sitting on the sitting on one of the spawn locations and getting the iframes first. So it does know about the bell. Gonna grab it and just swoop that up here to go back down to 2 skulls. Very nice. Yeah, I do think that aranq is maybe playing a little passively with the shot charges here, but that is understandable as well. And Dom grabs 3 golds and is probably just figuring out which he wants his 4th to be. Pin Golf being the 4th is definitely understandable. There is like pretty good synergy with Alphazar's hat here, I would say, but you also have no idea how far into his own gold grind aranq is. Yeah, that was very awkward. Again, like, I don't blame aranq for playing the way he's playing, because some of these enemy spawns are just a little awkward here. Very nice duck under the bird boss. Again. Bird is down and already has a couple of hits on this guy. Yeah, these dodges have been pretty sick because it's very easy to get hit in Rakshasa. Yeah, we did get the hole in one on the last stage. Nice. I think pin golf is personally a game that is like pretty important to know for bingo, even if you're not like super comfortable in pin golf. Just being able to even gold disc it on command is like super helpful for a situation like this. Because in this board specifically, both players have options beyond pin golf, like if neither was comfortable with it. But just having one of like the guaranteed really fast golds and actual cherries under your belt is pretty helpful. Yo, nice. They got a bell as a drop and got this bell. That is incredibly fortunate for aranq. So now entering the one of the final climbs without any skulls is very nice. Yeah, and the main thing is even with the like time-consuming pin golf goals, once you know them, they're mostly time-consuming because you might need like a round or two of just figuring out how to do it. It's a really fast gift, it's a really fast gold, it's a really fast and consistent cherry when you're comfortable in it. But yeah, if there's like one game that I would recommend players who maybe aren't super comfortable just learn for the sake of learning it, it's probably pin golf. Use the perfect Rakshasa loot table. I did not know there was a loot table for this game, I'm gonna be honest. Very nice hole-in-one. Yeah. Dom is having some incredibly clean pin golf play here. And one of the nice things about the gold disc route specifically for pin golf is compared to how hard the game is on your first attempt. Ooh, very, very unfortunate bird there. The recovery is going to be fine. And he does know about the other hidden bell down here. So yeah, for those that don't know, there's another bell down here. A lot of people don't know that bell because I didn't know that bell until I was desperately researching. Playing Getting Over It, true. Yeah, perhaps a hot take here, but the platforming in this section specifically is like really, really precise. So I don't blame aranq for struggling with it a little bit. On top of these crabs being like, I would say the most annoying enemy in this game, but there are some very difficult to deal with enemies in this game. But the respawn rate on these crabs feels so fast. So we are seeing some charge shots from aranq now. Oh. But not gonna have the power up here. So this boss is gonna be pretty annoying to take down. Very nice. Alright, so there is one more stretch of Rakshasa. It's not a stage 4, although it probably should be. Like, that should just transition into a shorter stage 4. I'm not entirely sure why it doesn't, but understandably playing it safe to get his power up back up. Yeah, pin golf has some weird angles sometimes. But with that, Dom does pick up the 4th gold. Cherries count as golds for the purposes of this goal, so you don't have to get like specifically a gold, but that does put up Dom 11 to 10 and has just enough for an ingot, which means that he's actually ahead of a rank now in Pilot Quest progress. It does have 4 seeds going, which is nice. Gonna just hop out and start to survey the land. Mortal 2 would be a lot more fun if you had to get gold. Just spamming like 50 deaths at the end, they just immediately get under 49. So this ending area of Rakshasa with the eyeball, fireball things are really, really scary. Very, very nicely dodged through there. Aranq gonna get one last power up before the boss. Yeah, this Rakshasa play has been incredible, by the way. Yeah, for someone who, like, is self-reportedly not, like, as good at the platforming games as he is at the puzzle games, I'm thinking that might just be that Aranq's fucking cracked at everything. And, like, yes, he is also really good at the puzzle games, but, like, is also just really good at UFO 50 in general. Alright, so does take a hit here, which means he's going to be back down to the final health. Ooh, and those purple snakes were coming for him. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Good bailout, good bailout. Okay. Oh, no, the fire! Oh, no. This is starting to get scary, y'all. Yeah. Oh, oh my god, Aranq. Run up, holy crap. Oh my god. Please just give him the gold. Man's done so much, just give him the gold. There we go. Oh my god. Also, shout out to Dom getting sniped here, but not really mattering. That was ridiculous. Very well earned. Very, very good gold. Wait, Dom got the blaster in that time? I was distracted by the Rakshasa. Holy crap. Yeah, that deserves an OMG. Unfortunately, yeah, because of the time that's left on the board, I'm gonna need to mark off basically every space left. Understandably, actually doing the correct thing here. I think this is the correct play for Aranq. I was gonna mention it, but this is the only way for him to come back now, is to have Dom waste a ton of time in Rakshasa, and just mark this off on, like, stage 2. Yeah, so no reason to mark this off for at least, like, 5 minutes. Can probably even stretch it a little longer than that. But I'm gonna be able to make at least like a stage or 2 of progress in Alphazar's hat. And worth mentioning, this is maybe the first time I've casted a match outside of A tier where the player has like aggressively held a space in this. And I think is potentially going to pay off pretty massively for Aranq here. Aranq is going to need both Alphazar's hat and Role Player left. And I'm going to be honest, Role Player is one of the general goals that I just like don't entirely know like at all how long it takes. Yeah, and he does know that Dom's at least at the start of Rakshasa here. So like even if Dom, or even if Aranq holds this even just through the end of stage 1, it's an entire stage advantage in Alphazar's hat, which is really, really good. Role player is pretty fast as long as you know Valbrace. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I got from it, is if you know where the first 2 thrones of Valbrace are, it's probably okay. I assume you can just do solo Grimstone for this, right? And just level up Bull twice and then it's fine. So yeah, it looks like the rest of those is totally grabbable here. Didn't get a ton out of that mini-boss drop, unfortunately, for Aranq. Probably trying to look for another health. Doesn't, like, super need it, but might as well grab it, yeah. Alright, so Dom is in stage 1. I wouldn't be surprised to see aranq basically go through the bonus game here, and then mark this space off. Yeah, this hold is an understandable hold, and also kind of the only way aranq comes back from this. So incredibly smart to see that. It's really, really difficult in the middle of a bingo match to be able to identify exactly how much time you have on an opponent. And because Dom got the pilot quest square so fast, it actually allowed aranq time to see that as he was finishing up Rakshasa, and then perform one of the, if not the most aggressive hold B tier's ever seen. Yeah, I think after this stage, it's pretty safe to just mark it off. I guess if you're worried about Dom immediately going into role player while you're in here, I could see holding it through the bonus game here. I also don't think you super need to play this bonus game, to be honest. Unless you're really worried about a game over, I guess. But Alphazar's hat is generally pretty lenient with its life system. Yeah, maybe just, I was going to say, maybe just trying to get a couple of safety lives here, and then just going to burn off the rest. Yeah, unless you're specifically trying to get Cherry, I don't super think the Alphazar's hat bonus is super worth it either. Alright, there we go. As called. Base TBH, true. Alright. Oh, this is the way aranq comes back. So, unfortunately, it's a 50-50 shot here on what aranq's working on. Aranq has a full stage advantage of Alphazar's hat. This theoretically could come down to a pure role player race. And aranq does know at this point, or I guess you really don't know what thing Dom's going into here. If I had the lead, I'd do part of role player and then go for Alphazar. Yeah, that seems like the safest hedge your bets kind of thing. And especially since Dom does have the space advantage as of right now, that seems like the safest play. And yeah, 20 minutes does feel like just enough time to come back and grab role player in the final seconds. Wow, this is quickly becoming the match of the season, and I'd say that as someone who has casted quite a lot of exciting bingo. I think the only thing that has even been like somewhat quote-unquote wrong from this match is Dom not hedging bets here on which square aranq is in. Yeah, this is capping off a surprisingly amazing Saturday. Yeah, if you're aranq, I think this is specifically where you just take your state space advantage here. Just mark this off if you are able to grab through this pretty quick. I will say Dom ran through that stage 1 pretty fast. Aranq in stage 1 wasn't dashing quite as much as he is now. These snowmen, by the way, are like one of my least favorite enemies in UFO 50. I generally am fine with like pretty much every enemy in Alphazar's hat, except for those snowmen. Those snowmen are complete dicks. Yeah, Scouts, and that's what Canvas was talking about, and I think that probably was the play here. Is to just go straight into role player, grab like, honestly, even the Valbrace progress in that goal or something, and then go into Alphazar's hat and just kind of hope that aranq is working on one or the other. So like if you see aranq mark off role player, you theoretically have the space advantage. But I think now it is basically just going to come down to a pretty much raw race of role player in the final like 15 minutes. But worth mentioning, by the way, since Dom does have the 12th space currently, in order for aranq to win this, he will need to beat Roleplayer first. And if the game ends in a 12-12 tie, it's still Dom's victory here by tiebreaker. So aranq will need to beat this stage and the next stage of Alphazar's Hat, and then get 3 different games of very quick level ups in the next 20 minutes. But yeah, it's definitely doable. Like, I'd say that just kind of as like what you have to do for that, but it is definitely possible to beat 2 stages of Alphazar here. And if aranq is able to come back, that hold will absolutely have been the difference in the match. Because both players, again, are pretty neck and neck in terms of like how quickly they're playing their games. And really the only difference in one player or the other getting spaces is pretty much just entirely based on who entered it first. Yeah, this would be an absolutely ridiculous comeback, but I do see it potentially forming here. I forget, if you quit out of Alphazar's Hat, it starts over, right? Like, you have to beat all the stages back to back. Okay, yeah. I know there's some games that save progress when you quit out, but... And yeah, you also don't know that aranq held Rakshasa. And like, it was based to get Rakshasa, but I think it was even more based to get Rakshasa and then see the way that you win this game is to hold Rakshasa. Yeah, 1 HP reset here is a little unfortunate, but these bosses are almost dead anyway, so I should be able to build back up in stage 4. Is going to allow a little bit of... never mind. I was going to say it's going to allow Dom a little bit of catch-up time here. Yeah, these holes are kind of annoying. There's not really a lot you can do about it, and they are one of the only things in this game that just insta-kill you. It happens in the holes in this stage. It happens in the holes in stage 1. It really happens on the train in stage 2. I feel like I'd fall off the edge of that thing all the time. And yeah, aranq is, thankfully, because he has that extra stage of advantage, has been able to kind of just casually play through a lot of this. Dom is mounting a pretty big comeback in terms of like where he's actually at, though. And if Dom gets a pretty big loadout here, might be able to at least bring this back to a stage 4 battle. That's a bit gray tiles here. Yeah, there are some moments in this game that are not the most colorblind friendly, I've noticed. I have a lot of colorblind friends of different color blindness, so whenever I'm designing my like Mario World hacks and stuff, I am pretty routinely aware of color combinations I can and can't use. And while this game does have some very pretty palettes, it also does sort of have some that aren't the most colorblind friendly. Wow, Dom, I don't know how you got through all that without taking a hit. But I guess you have to if you're at 0 lives. So Dom would very much like to see some purple drops here. Not getting any, which is very, very unfair. No. Oh, okay. So that actually probably helps. I'm gonna be honest. That actually is maybe the difference. Ironically enough, losing that game, I think, saved Dom the match here. And that is not very often that you see someone die and actually be in a better position. That is wild. So now with 15 minutes left, aranq has to beat this and also the progress of whatever Dom makes here. Yeah, thankfully for a rank, he is pretty far into stage 4 already. And has 4 lives here, so I'm assuming even if a rank does end up dying here, it should be fine to clear this out. I think more so for either player at this point is just the time limit that's coming up. If this match was even like 10 minutes longer, this would be almost guaranteed coming down to a blackout here. But otherwise it's just going to depend on this mean mini-boss. This mini-boss is kind of trolly sometimes. Yeah, I think Dom dying in Paint Chase was the blessing in disguise that he needed to have just enough an advantage to close this one out. Because a rank at this point will need in about 10 minutes to get 3 different games worth of level progress. Should be in a pretty comfortable position to get Alphazar's hat. That's probably one of the scariest like movement segments of this level. Dying in Paint Chase, true. I learned an embarrassingly short time ago that those trails that the Paint Chase cars leave don't actually do anything outside of make it like slightly slippery. Alright, so we are at stage 4, boss, and Alphazar's hat. I forget, if you have lives for the cherry level, I guess you're not getting the cherry here anyway, but if you like have lives for the cherry level and then die in the cherry level, does it just end the game? Oh, did I say dying in Paint Chase? To be fair, it is dying in Paint Chase, just Alphazar's hat version. And yeah, the shade of green that they use definitely kind of signifies that that would be a lot more harmful to you than just getting a little slippery on your feet. Oh yeah, I guess it's just the addition of the boss, so you probably just restart and then don't get that addition. Alright, so aranq did bring it down to his final life on that one. Can aranq in the next 9 minutes grab role player for the win? Or will this be a 12-12 majority win? I was gonna say that bonus game, we maybe didn't think it was necessary there, but on the final life of that, I think I just saw that Dom got the role player progress. Oh boy. Wow, a head-to-head role player race for the final square in this game. What a absolutely fantastic match. I'm cooked? No! I mean, I guess that signifies how the last couple of minutes this is gonna go. When the terminal message spoils how the end of the game is gonna go. Yeah, and if I'm aranq, I have no clue how much progress Dom has in this. If I'm Dom, I at least assume that I have a little bit more progress in this, having seen aranq just mark that off. But you also don't know if aranq has like stockpiled progress towards this at all. As someone who also doesn't know the fly spell, this might just be a route through Valbrace without fly. Which is probably sacrilegious to those that do know the Valbrace route. Yeah, just being able to mash the spells in Valbrace is pretty tricky. I guess for those that don't know, in Valbrace you have access to every spell like from the start of the game. You just need to be careful about actually using the spells in time, and then having enough mana to use the spells. I'll learn the fly routes. I just learned everything else yesterday, but hearing how fast it is, I'll just learn the fly routes. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you actually want to reset there, do you? Because it kind of helps. Oh, I guess you don't actually get essence on floor 1, so never mind. Or floor 0. But like I imagine on the second half of this, you'll probably want to, no matter what health you're at, keep it so you can have the essence going into floor 2. I'm going to steal from the Crone. I normally see players try to steal the Lion Shield just because it is kind of helpful to have a really good shield early in the game. But I guess it doesn't really matter what you steal, just as long as it's something. You know, Rink is just running around pleading for an eel to run into. Alright, there's the divers portion. Aranq, I think you gotta go, bud. I don't think you have time for this. Crone fights can be miserable sometimes. Yeah, I'm not... I think Aranq thinks you need to save. Yeah, I think so too. He's just wiggling his way up. Just desperately trying to get some rest before the last 5 minutes of this goal. Sees that he's level 3, immediately hopping out. Does Aranq know Valbrace well? We'll find out in the last 5 minutes. Why not the Lion Shield? I'm not 100% sure. It might just be for the sake of speed there. Like maybe just grabbing the first thing that you can mash into. Oh, but getting comboed by again. That's true. Dom also wins if Aranq doesn't get this in the next 4 minutes, which I think even with like totally optimal routing is gonna look real sketch. I don't think Aranq has time. I think if this match was going another even like 5 minutes, Aranq might be able to clutch this out, but I think the 145 timer is gonna end up making this a 12-12 Dom win. Gotta name yourself Awu, of course. I think it probably depends on how comfortable Aranq is in Valbrace. And given that that's the third game that he's going into here, I think it's fair to say he's probably the least comfortable in that one. Yeah, Vex, this has probably been the game of the season, or at least the most intense game I've casted in a top minute. The 12-12 score is absolutely indicative of how close this was. Yeah, I think trying to do this fight with the dagger is proving to be a little more difficult for Dom here. I think if he is able to recover a little bit more... Okay, there you go. Did beat the Crone. I'm just gonna go ahead and cast a map. Okay. Now just has to be careful about actually making it to the throne. We'll probably end up... Oh, got a red potion. That was a pretty clutch red potion. If I were Dom, I would probably have used that red potion by now. Minor heal's fine too. So I do think if aranq gets a little lucky here, he is going to get the second portion of roleplay, and this match will come down to just not having enough time to level up twice in Valbrace. Alright, there's level 2. So, I guess for aranq's sake, oh yeah, I guess you gotta go to level 3 first. Oh no, Owl's blinded. He ain't gonna hit shit. Whenever I'm personally grinding quickly in Grimstone, I like to go up to the second town. Oh, he actually hit him. Wow. Nice. Okay. Yeah, hitting a crit when blinded is absolutely ridiculous. Is aranq gonna get the level up off of this? Nope. So close.
Nope.
Make sure I've turned this up so y'all can hear both players.
GG's.
Wow, what a game.
Yeah, that was a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah, as a heads up, there were like 3 or 4 different direct head-to-heads that were like really nasty in that.
Oh, dude, I swear to God, if you say overbold, I'm gonna flip my desk over.
Yeah, the overbold one was ridiculous because Dom, you did start it earlier, but aranq was just very slightly faster on the one wave that it actually mattered on. And aranq, you were like 1 second, I think, ahead of Dom on that one.
And I was 1 second behind in danger.
Yeah, and then
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have. Did you go in after I marked Disconia?
Yeah, that Lords of Disconia clear was the fastest I've ever seen that goal by like a mile.
I thought you held it.
Yeah, I should have held Disconia a bit. I was thinking you sniped me.
Speaking of holding, though, the Rakshasa Gold Disc hold was incredible and did exactly what you wanted it to do, of giving yourself like just enough of a head start. Dom immediately went into Alphazar's hat and actually game overed at one point, and him game overing and quitting into role player when he did was pretty much the difference between like you being able to get that in time or not. Definitely.
Was I ahead?
Go for it.
Was I like ahead in Alphazar? Because I thought if it was an Alphazar race, I was behind.
You
so
were.
I should just pivot to role player, and then
it
goes down to Alphazar, then we're even.
Yeah, I think you were playing Alphazar overall at a slightly faster pace, but aranq ended up holding that Rakshasa Gold Disc clear until like after the first stage and bonus game were done. So they ended up having a stage on you or whatever, and you were starting to like come back, but your game over there actually ended up helping a lot. Also, I'm sorry to see the undusted Grimstone there, aranq. You did well in it for what it's worth. Like, you went quickly.
I've never played Grimstone either.
Yeah.
Still to this day, I've never undusted it, even for bingo or casual.
You were about 10 seconds away from having to, but... but yeah.
Oh, and the morsel snipe? Well, that he was probably in there later.
So, as a heads up, that Valbrace square was also, like, frame by frame difference for almost all of it. The only
Seriously?
difference, the only difference in that is Dom, you ended up taking that last shortcut, and aranq didn't. So
What was my
that
shortcut?
specific difference, like until then, y'all basically started the game at the exact same time, and almost like movement for movement, were like entering screens at the different time. It was wild. I had to
Hell, Disconia?
I had to remind the cast like 3 different times that y'all couldn't see each other's screens and had no idea how close it was, but yeah,
I pulled this overboard like that. I'm so stupid.
oh, also,
I
Oh, you
on
golden,
wave
you
7
missed
I
it?
accidentally shot. So I went to wave 8, but it was the last wave.
yeah.
So I just figured I'd hit gold this.
Also, aranq, major shoutouts on clearing the 5 skull thing on your
Oh my god,
Rakshasa
I've never
gold
played
disc,
that
because that
well
was
in
terrifying.
that bonus game. I've never done that.
Yeah, that
So
was that was some incredible movement for that, and definitely a very well-deserved gold disc on that.
Whenever I saw the Disconia get claimed, I had the best Planet Zoldat seed. I was like almost at it. I'm like, I felt every bone in my body said play Vanger right now. And I was vibrating. Like my body was vibrating the whole time. I'm like, I know he's there. I need this.
Yeah, that was a unbelievable
Yeah,
game.
that
Very,
was-
very well played by both y'all.
GG.
Oh yeah, the Pilot Quest Blaster was actually
Yeah, that was also
crazy. I did that
so
in
fast.
one
Isn't
meet.
that really?
I don't think I've ever seen the blaster go that well either. But honestly, one of the most fun things I've casted. That was an absolute blast, and definitely will be uploading that one as soon as possible. But yeah, unless y'all have anything else to say, I guess that will go ahead and wrap up the bingo casting for the night.
Yeah, GG.
I just want to say I'm so excited to watch the VOD.
Yeah,
Me too.
definitely watch this one back. This was an absolute blast, and I'm glad I got to cast it.
Yeah, thanks for casting
Of course.
on a super busy day.
Yeah. Of course. Very, very well played by both. Definitely looking forward to watching y'all play some more. And yeah,
Yeah.
GG's.
That goes for you too. See you in the rink.
Thanks.
Bye.
Have a
All
good
right.
one, yeah.
Have a good night.
Okay. So as a heads up to everyone on my stream, I'm not done streaming yet. I am actually probably gonna do some UFO 50 practice of my own. Before my match today, I ended up getting a sub 14-minute Kit Club, and I want to stream that. Ideally, if I can. I may never play Kit Club that well again, if I'm being honest, but I want to at least give it a shot. But an absolutely fantastic banger of a match. Any match that comes down 12-12 is very well played on both sides, and I think I had more to talk about in that game than I've maybe ever had to talk about. I am going to go ahead and take a quick break, let this ad run. Fire Lions cast also ended 12-12. Wow. So on top of this being one of the busiest bingo days, I think it's fair to say this is also one of the best bingo days. Because my match against Fi was also equally close and neck for pretty much the entire time. So yeah, definitely looking forward to Monday Night Bingo this week. There will be a lot to talk about, so if y'all happen to have clips of any of the games, feel free to post them in Discord, because we got some shit to say. Yeah, I've noticed that it doesn't super matter what tier you're in now. Like, you're just gotta be cracked and fill out the board or get a bingo real quick. So major shout outs to players this season. I feel like everyone this season is popping off, and it's definitely showing in how hyped these games are. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break, and then we'll come back with a little bit of UFO 50 bingo practice of our own. I'm not really going to be like practicing bingo specifically tonight, I guess, because I kind of just want to learn the Kit Club speed run. And by learn it, I mean just stream whatever I did earlier, hopefully. But yeah, it was a majority plus bingo. Dang, that is absolutely wild. Shout outs to everyone who's had a match this week, because I feel like every game has been an absolute blast. But yeah, we'll be right back. We'll run the ads and come back with some kick load. Bosco got her last tile with 30 seconds left. Wow.